Do the Cubs return to Japan for an Impact edition? Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We are your team every day. Alongside Sam Olver, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Awards week this week continues on across Major League Baseball. Later in the show, we'll review the case for Cade Horton for Rookie of the Year. And we really start, though, also why or could the Cubs need a right-handed hitter who could play first, third, or DH. And we start with a trio of Japanese players who could be three really impactful guys through the Japanese posting system this offseason. All three have been connected to the Cubs, not necessarily in reporting, but just in those like projection type exercises. The Athletic has done a bunch, ESPN. Really, those are the main ones, Fangraphs, MLB Trade Rumors. One of these guys has been connected to the Cubs more than the other two. Mm-hmm. And I think we should discuss him last.
Yeah.
And how it ties in with the Cubs' need for someone right-handed who could play first, and that's Okamoto, who also is, coincidentally or not, the less expensive of all three of these guys.
Not coincidental.
So let's start with the top two in Murakami and Imai, Sam, because they're going to get big deals. Murakami is a left-handed hitting third baseman. He's hit 30-plus homers in 5 of his 7 years with the NPB. And this past year, he didn't hit that many homers due to an oblique injury, but he hit 22 in only 56 games. It's almost like laughable what he's up to. He's only 25 years old.
Wow.
His strikeout rate might pose a concern. A little more numbers on that later. Some questions in some of these reports about his ability to handle
velocity, how he handles velocity.
Well, and that's the rub typically with Japanese players, right? Is can they catch up to velo?
Right.
Murakami was posted on Saturday, so the clock is ticking for him already. He'll need to sign with the team by December 22nd. Sam, what have you seen from Murakami? And big raw power, but there could be some risks too.
Here's why it's a stay away for me.
Okay.
We've talked about this team and what their needs are. I'm only floating in the power-only department if the name is Kyle Schwarber, because of the other stuff that brings to the table. Let me give you a statistic with Murakami. Do you know what his batting average was last season on pitches 93 or harder?
I'm going to say it was maybe below 250.
Yeah, it was 0.95.
No way.
Yeah, it's 0.95. So, got that from a variety of sites confirming. Struck out a lot. This guy profiles a lot to me. When I was reading up on him, there's one name that came to mind in the big leagues, and that was Joey Gallo.
Ooh.
Do you remember him?
Yes.
It's some big home run years, but I don't think this fit makes a whole lot of sense. And then I looked at what he was projected to get, which is about 5. What did you see? I saw between 5 and 6 years at a 150, 160 million.
So I took all the Athletic projections, and they had him 8 years, 158.
Okay, so that's going to be a John Stockton. That's going to be a Magic Johnson. That's going to be an Arvidas Sabonis pass for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and
It's going to be a pass for me.
his strikeout rate was 26% in
Mark
Japan.
Jackson, Chris Paul, you name it, I'm passing it.
So 26 strikeout rate in Japan, percent strikeout rate and that's without the velo that you're referencing.
Yeah.
That's a legit concern because that percentage would rank him in the top 20 here.
Yeah.
That's in Japan with more velo, more spin, more stuff.
Just doesn't feel like a fit in this lineup.
Doesn't feel like a fit, especially when Wrigley Field has become, sort of a physics project over there. And so you have a guy with raw power, great, but he strikes out a lot, and we don't know if he can play the field. The Cubs don't need that right now, unless, I could be persuaded into Schwarber, Sam. You might have to do a little more persuading for me, but yeah, I think the Mets and Yankees will be really in on Murakami, and they could have him, right? Imai posted a 1.92 ERA in 163 innings last year. He's played 9 years in the NPB. He's 27, right-handed pitcher, mid-90s fastball, 5 or 6 pitches.
Yeah.
All the big names will be in the mix there. I don't know if the Cubs are going to be in the mix. The Athletic listed the Cubs in the mix at 8 years, 190.
Oh,
You're telling me the Cubs are going to sign a starting pitcher to a 9-figure deal this offseason? I almost would want to put like some kind of hyperbolic statement next to that. Like if they sign a starting pitcher to a 9-figure deal, I don't know. I would maybe camp out in the snow. I don't know.
well,
He's an attractive pitcher, sure, but I don't think they're going to play in that market.
well, I mean, Dylan Cease would be 9 figures, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get him.
Okay. All right, hold on. So for me, I'd like to go in a different direction here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, I'd be pretty surprised if they signed a guy. What's 9 figures? 100 million? Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be like absolutely shocked, but I'd be shocked if it was an unknown type of a pitcher that you
that has
seen.
a major league resume.
Yeah, I think if you're going to invest those type of dollars, which 8 years, 190 would be the biggest contract ever given out in this franchise's history.
Wow, that's true.
So I don't think, they'd go that route. I would say I'm like 99.9% sure Murakami's not a fit. Probably would go down to like 70, 75% on Imai. How do I say it?
Imai, yeah.
Imai. But there is an absolute fit when talking about Japan, and I know we're going to get there. I don't have anything to add. I don't have anything to add on these two players. I just,
I am glad Murakami's clock started, so we don't have to wait till like February to get him signed.
Yeah, I mean, and look,
that could help the market.
The pitching market. I mean, you look at the success of Imanaga. It was up and down for Roki last year. Sanga's been great when he's been able to be on the field, and then of course Yamamoto is, in my opinion, as of right now, has the title belt of best pitcher in the world.
It's a good point.
So you do have a little bit more of trust in the pitching market, but I still think the Cubs are going to end up trading for a pitcher, and I don't think they're going to spend that type of money. I didn't realize it was 8 years, 190. I thought it was less. I thought it was more in like the 5, 6, like 120 range. I didn't realize this guy's going to get 190. It's because he's so young.
Yeah. Well, and the Athletic had a lot of lower projections last year. Basically every team in reality beat them. So I think they're kind of playing their cards a little higher. Yeah. Because after last winter. All right. Well, let's talk about Okamoto then and his fit on this Cubs team. And if it's not him, why they really need a player like this anyway, coming up next.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in the action than FanDuel, the official sports book betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Speaking of making that late push, not once, not twice, not 3 times, for the 4th time this season, the Chicago Bears have made a late push to go 6-3. And I got to tell you, the fan in me is thinking, well, how fun is this? Caleb Williams is making tremendous strides and progress under Ben Johnson, but the FanDuel gambler in me is thinking, is there going to be some value betting against this team down the stretch? Are they a good football team? You can't argue with 6-3, but man, at times it just looks a bit disjointed and a lot of late comes. It kind of reminds me of the 2001 Bears. I was a young pup for that. Mike Brown walking off on pick sixes, Shane Matthews throwing Hail Marys against the Cleveland Browns. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Thank you for making Locked On Cubs your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. All right, Okamoto is the last of the trio of potentially impact players for the Japanese posting system this offseason. Okamoto is a right-handed hitter. He could play both first and third. Scouts view him as a first baseman, though he played a lot more third this past year. While he doesn't have as much upside as Murakami and he's older, 29 years old, Okamoto struck out in only 11% of his plate appearances this past year. Has pretty solid power, great contact. We already discussed the concern with Japanese hitters. Always can they catch up to velo? But Sam, The Athletic projects Okamoto for a contract of 4 years at $78 million. And as a safety net for Matt Shaw at third, as a sometimes platoon partner for Michael Bush, and he could be penciled in at DH, this might happen.
This is the fit. This is the fit that makes the most sense out of the 3 guys we've talked about. First of all, this guy, you think, oh, I don't know, bat to ball guy. Well, he hit 41 home runs a couple years ago. So he's got power. He doesn't strike out a ton. The strikeouts, they did go down a lot this year. And he didn't play in a ton of games this year. I think he only played in like 80 games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, about half a year.
Yeah, so he didn't play a ton. He hit 322 when he played. Have that down here. I think there's always going to be holes. There's always going to be mystery when you go get a player that hasn't played in the big leagues yet. This one feels like the safest bet / the best fit for what this Cubs team needs. The only question is the price, because I'm not even sure he's going to be handed an everyday job here.
Right.
So,
and would he even want to do that?
Would you give him 9 figures, to your point, for that? What does his contract look like? If it's something in the Seiya range or a little bit less, that's something maybe you think about. But if somebody's going to give him big dollars, then again, I hate to continue to repeat myself. The Cubs just won't be competing with teams that are looking to give out big long-term contracts like that this offseason.
Well, and for a guy who has elite status over there and is revered, I don't think that's the right term. But anyway, for someone that is viewed highly, would he really want to take a part-time-ish role when he lands here?
Yeah, I mean, my guess he'd start at first of all, he's not starting at first. My guess is he'd start at third base.
Right.
That'd be my guess.
And he would start at first against lefties, maybe.
Yeah. And then, I couldn't find his numbers versus lefties. I don't know if I don't know how to.
I don't have that.
Yeah, it's hard to find. It feels like pretty important. But if he starts at third, then I go back to Jed's press conference and him talking about the identity of this team being defense. If you're going to have a big drop off there,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right. It's hard to see them committing to that type of drop off if that's the hallmark of their team.
Yeah. I would say
which it is.
I still think he's the best fit because of the bat to ball, the average, the positional stuff. But it doesn't mean because he's the best fit, that means they're going to get him. I just think if they were to get one of these three players, this would be the most likely that they get.
Do you think the Cubs need a right-handed hitter who could play some first and third?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, on Friday, I said my biggest need for this team is another bat. And that more replaces Kyle Tucker. By the way, are we as a show, can we as a show move on? Like, is Kyle Tucker out the door? Why don't we do that for tomorrow? Is he done? Is it a done deal?
Let's do it for tomorrow. I think we should explore that more. Because you're right.
I'm seeing stuff like 11 for 400.
Right.
And then I'm seeing stuff like John
Heyman, Rogers, Heyman, Rosenthal.
It's all gone. And so if we're operating under an assumption that Kyle Tucker is gone, then I think this team needs another primetime bat, like another elite level bat, and then another utility bat. Because don't forget, Matt, they got to rebuild this bench.
Of course.
What was, and I know I've gotten off topic here, but the last game of the season, right? What did the bench look like? Turner, Alcantara, McGuire.
Yeah, you mean in the division series, right?
Yes.
Turner,
it was Alcantara, Castro, McGuire.
Yeah, and I think there was one more, right? Because they kept an extra position player in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's an awful bench.
Ballesteros was the fifth guy.
Right. Yeah,
that was their bench. Yeah.
Yeah, they need a better bench offensively.
Okay, well, that's what we said last year too. So, I think they do need someone there too,
and we were right.
And we've done trivia on it multiple times. They've had a ton of guys start a game at both first and third since 2021. And right now, it's less about the revolving door than it is about matchups, because you have two guys who could, in theory, play there for many years, in Bush and Shaw. But Shaw against righties last year hit 218, and Bush against lefties hit 207. So if you're telling me they're going to invest a little more to bring in a guy that gives them some days, especially against tougher matchups, I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, okay, so I'm looking.
Although the sacrificing defense part is hard for me.
Estimated contract range here I'm seeing for Okamoto.
Yeah, Athletic has 4 for 78.
Yeah, and I'm seeing 4 for 68. So, that's a deal the Cubs would sign.
Okay.
That's right in their range, right there. Break even.
I mean, there's really no other free agent fits like this. They would really be down the board of like true bench players.
Yeah.
That could be a little more versatile and hit right-handed.
And you're not paying a guy 4 for 68 to come off the bench.
No, well, a lot of these guys would be clear one-year guys, even like minor league deal guys, Sam. There's no other names like Okamoto. Like the next name would be like a Paul DeYoung. He's going to get $1 million.
Oh, I just heard Tom smile.
So, all right. We're payroll talk this week. Cubs got millions available to the first threshold.
What was where do they finish up final payroll? 11th in 25?
For last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 11th at 228. So, I mean, if Imanaga doesn't accept the qualifying offer, this team is going to literally have $73 million to the first threshold.
And I think he's going to, but it seems like I'm the only one that believes that.
I think he's going to accept it too.
Oh, okay.
So you have party of two there.
All right, party of two. Let's get like a salad first.
All right. Will Cade Horton win the Rookie of the Year? We discuss his case and more next.
This episode is brought to you by Game Time. The NFL season is back, and honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle. Between queues, login screens, and prices jumping at checkout, it's frustrating. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. I pulled up Game Time, and in just a couple taps, I saw amazing deals. I'm talking about your favorite NFL games as low as $100. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view for my seat before buying. So please download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today.
Shout out to the everydayers, and you can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. The National League Rookie of the Year will be announced on Monday nights. Cade Horton, Drake Baldwin, and Caleb Durbin are the three finalists, with a likely close vote there between Horton and Baldwin, who slashed 274, 341, 469 with 19 home runs, 80 runs batted in 124 games. Horton finished with a 2.67 ERA in 23 games, 97 strikeouts to 33 walks in 118 innings. Sam, I do think this is going to be a close vote. I hope Horton wins. Something tells me I have a feeling he's not going to win.
Really?
Which would be too bad. But I really hope he wins. And, if he doesn't win, he could, we're doing our own player awards later this week. Maybe he'll win the Locked On Cubs Pitcher of the Year award.
You don't think he's going to win?
No, I think they're going to get it wrong and vote for Drake Baldwin.
All right. So this is where I don't like baseball. Because, okay, so I get it. So the case for Baldwin is I did my homework for the show. He played like 120.
By the way, to add insult to injury, I think Horton's going to finish third.
Behind Caleb Durbin?
Yeah, I do.
I thought it was Isaac Collins that was in the running there.
He was for a while, and so was Patrick, Chad. Brewers with a lot of rookie contributors.
So
the Dodgers.
Baldwin played about 125 games, if I remember correctly.
Right, I just gave a stat line, right?
Yeah, he had a good year. I get it.
He did.
At what point, when it's a close race?
He's a big bat, but he's nothing special behind the plate, as far as I know.
Oh, he's a good bat. He's not a big bat. What did he get? 19 homers?
Yeah, in 124 games. That's
he's a good bat. He's good. At what point, when it's a close race between two players, does team performance matter? Because if Cade Horton was the best pitcher on planet Earth in the second half until he got hurt. And without him, the Cubs are not a 92-win team. He carried the team. He carried the staff. And he was dominant. And that should be enough to win the Rookie of the Year award. I get it. A guy that had a nice season as a catcher. And I'm calling his season. It was a very nice season. No disrespect to Drake Baldwin. He was on the most disappointing team in the National League. That's the team that he was on. And I get it. It's not his fault. Analytic people, I get it. It's not his fault. I know. But at what point do you reward winning when it's this close of a race?
Well, I have a question to lob back to you with that.
Yeah, please.
Well, is Paul Skeens not going to win over Sanchez and Yamamoto?
It's different. Because Skeens was so far. That's clear. He was the clear best pitcher in the regular season. This is not clear to me. This is a toss-up to me. And if you would include the postseason, Yamamoto would win everything. He doesn't need to win the Cy Young. He's got a World Series MVP trophy hanging up
It's
in
a
his
regular
home.
season award, but I get what you're saying.
It is. Yeah, no, you're right. It's a fair counter, but I don't think the gap is that much. What does FanDuel have the current odds at? I'm going to look at that up.
I haven't looked into that in months.
I would be shocked if Cade Horton wasn't the favorite. And it would really bother me. So give me 1 sec here. I'll get that.
So if he doesn't win, you would be really bothered. Is that real? Are you exaggerating?
Well, no, I got too much on my mind to be seriously bothered about this.
Well, no, but from a Cubs perspective,
yeah, just like how I was bothered that Tatis won the Platinum Glove Award. It made no sense.
Okay.
It made no sense. If he's a better outfielder than Pete, wouldn't he play the most premium position?
Right.
I get it. The counter to that is, well, what about Arenado? He was the best defensive player. He played third. I get it. It's fair. Hold on, I have it right here. Here it is. It's coming right here. When was this? Oh, I guess you're right.
Is Baldwin the favorite?
Well, I can't. The first one I said had Horton at like minus 250. But now this one I think is more modern because I can't find it on FanDuel, so I'm just Googling it. On October 1st, 2025, I have Horton at minus 275. Now maybe that's moved.
Wow. Well, we'll find out Monday night.
Oh, here it is. Here's FanDuel. Minus 115 plus 130. So it's basically dead even. You're right. You're right. They're gonna give it to Baldwin.
Well, and I have another nugget to frustrate us. Baldwin allowed a league-leading 88 steals. All right, that's the show. I do think we should talk about Kyle Tucker next episode and how they're already out of the race on him.
They are.
I have this. I screenshotted from The Athletic last week to you. This is local reporting because some of these national guys, I'm starting to put a little bit of tinfoil hats on with some of their commentary on the Cubs. But we have some clear local reporting here about the Cubs' intentions on Tucker, and it's not very encouraging. Also, deadline to accept the qualifying offer is next Tuesday, November 18th. We'll see what Shota decides before then. All right, anything else besides a big Bears win?
Do you think the Bears are good?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do.
I don't know yet.
They need to win 4. What is it?
But I'm really excited about the development of the quarterback.
They need to win 4 out of their next 8 to make the playoffs?
Yeah, that sounds right. 10-7.
4-4. That's nothing special. They should be able to do that.
Yeah, you get Cleveland for sure.
Right. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Now the #1 sports podcast network. Your team every day.